And we're back. Hi guys. So, um, for the four computers, I'm just going to benchmark three of the computers because because the Street Fighter and the Gamdias are both AM3 Plus with the same CPU, 8350, right? So I'll just show you the benchmarks on the Gamdias case, which has the better motherboard. So this is a no overclock, just standard clock speed of the FX8350, and the video card is going to be the GTX970. Okay, so let me reset the afterburner minimums and minimum maximums, and then we'll okay, I reset it, and the game is loaded, and we're just gonna go around the major expressway. Okay, so here we go. I got my controller already hooked up, and we're off. So this card, usually this card with the i7-870 or FX8350 or 8320, I guess, they're all about the same. Pretty much the CPU stays at about 90 percentile, so it's a pretty heavy game for these older CPUs. So you can see that. Look at that FX8350. All the threads are being utilized, which is kind of cool, right? And here at the bottom, you can see the FPS of the video card. It's around 35 right now. And now, as we come down this part of the highway, it's going to come up to a major street light, and it's actually the heaviest part of the highway. So usually it'll come down to low 30s, usually anyway. It's this major intersection right here. Yeah, see? 29. You see that? The FPS is 27, 28. Oh, wow, look at that, 22. Yeah, it's always, that's like a really bad section of the game. Really heavy. Yeah, once we get past that intersection, then the FPS gets a lot better. Okay, so if we look, oh yeah, let me look at the power supply for you. 324. Okay, so the power supply is 324 watts total. So a 450 watt power supply should be enough. Okay, so if you guys are wondering about that, because almost nobody ever tells you how many watts are being pulled. So we're pulling 324 watts, and that's you know, I haven't touched the CPU or the video card. They're running at stock speeds right now. So this is an EVGA GTX 970, and this is the second revision of the card, which uses two sets of power plugs. The original version has a single set of power plugs. So why they did that, I don't know. Maybe the original version was maybe underpowered or something. But yeah, if you have a choice between one or the other, pick up revision number 2 that has two sets of power plugs. And what else? Yeah, the video card, as you can see, it's holding steady at 98%. The temperatures are pretty good at 69 degrees. And that's the default fan curve. Of course, I can go into afterburner right now, and I can manually set the fan curve higher. But you know, I guess for the benchmark, that's good enough, you know. Let's see what else. What else can we say? Yeah, you can see the how many watts the video card pulls, 110 watts. So it's a pretty economical video card. It doesn't pull too many watts. 110 watts. Some versions are, I see like the Gigabyte 3-fan version. I've seen it go up to 120 watts. Yeah, this card pulls a bit less electricity compared to the RX580, which I see the RX580 pulls all the way up to like 170, 180 watts. So definitely this card is a little bit more economical. Let's see, in the memory, the VRAM, it's only using 2,289 megabytes of VRAM memory of the video card, which is kind of cool. But oh yeah, that's right. If you're wondering, this is 1080p. Everything is on low. So I guess technically I can put it on 1080p medium, and we should still be okay. But you know, I figured just keep it easy, and I'll just keep everything at 1080p low. And we got 8 threads because the FX8350 has 8 threads, right? Same similar to the same 8 threads I showed you in the i7-870 benchmark. It was just like that too. System RAM, we are at 8,640. So supposedly all you need is 16 gigs of RAM in dual channel, right? DDR3 1600. And right here you can see your minimums and all that. Minimums 1%, 0.1% average, the actual FPS, and the millisecond graph on the very bottom. So as you can see, it's not too bad, right? You know, if you're not picky, you can use this CPU and motherboard for older video games forever and ever. You know, as long as you take care of the computer and you don't short circuit the motherboard, I guess. Keep everything nice and clean. Monitor your temperatures every once in a while. Make sure nothing's overheating. You know. And yeah, and then she's a good baby. You can keep her forever and ever. Yeah, it's kind of weird though. If you want to put this all together, if you buy it piece by piece on eBay, yeah, it's crazy. But this build costs just as much as building a brand new AM4 setup, which is kind of funny, right? Yeah. So these older computers, ideally you want to buy everything in like a used bundle, like it's already, you know, old gaming PC for sale, where you're going to buy everything together. Then it kind of makes sense. But if you have to go out on eBay and buy each piece individually, it almost comes out to the same price as building an AM4 system, you know, with a Ryzen 5 3600 or 4500 or 5500, which is kind of crazy, right? But that's just how it is. So keep that in mind. If you like old school stuff, for the most part, usually you want to try to buy everything in a bundle, you know. So that's how I got this. That's how I got this AM3 build, is from Craigslist on the north side of Chicago. There was this nice guy, and he sold me two of his classic AM3 computers that he said he originally bought them from Fry's Electronics in California. We had a Fry's Electronics in Chicago a long time ago. It was a nice place. It was really nice. It was kind of like Micro Center, but it was a bit larger. Yeah, it was really nice. They had a lot of stuff for sale there. It was not just a computer store, it was like appliances and stuff, so it was nice place. So we're coming around the expressway still. One thing I noticed on the FX8350, that not just any motherboard likes it, because on this particular motherboard, the gigabit board, it has some nice VRM heat sinks. But you're not gonna believe this. I try to do this turnaround with the with the ASRock motherboard, and you're not gonna believe it, but it was stuttering every once in a while. So I pulled up hardware monitor, and you're not gonna believe it, but the clock speed of the CPU every once in a while would downclock itself. And the reason why was because the motherboard VRM on the motherboard, you know, it's kind of like it's not thick enough. It looks like it was really meant for the smaller CPUs, like the 4300 and the 6300. But you know, if you use an 8350, it has a pretty aggressive clock speed of, I think, 4.0 out of the box. So that was a problem. Even at stock speeds, it was downclocking itself. So what I had to do was I had to go into the BIOS of the ASRock motherboard and downclock the CPU to I think 3 point something. And then it was fine. So I've never seen that before, but then again, I'm not very familiar with AM3 CPUs. So yeah, so if you buy a cheaper motherboard, then you're not going to be able to use the 8350, not even at stock speeds. You're going to have to downclock the 8350. Or like I say, if you get a cheaper AM3 motherboard, you might as well buy one of the cheaper, slower CPUs. You know, in this case, it would be the FX8300 or FX8320, which has a clock speed that's a little bit lower and slower. And then it should be plug and play, and you don't have to worry about messing with the BIOS. Because yeah, that was getting annoying. I had no idea that the video game kept stuttering. I thought there was something wrong with the motherboard or the CPU, and that's what it was. It was just the 8350 is too aggressive for it's not really a good idea to buy the 8350 and you put it on a cheaper motherboard. So keep that in mind if you ever get an 8350. That yeah, make sure you got one of the nicer motherboards, or be prepared to downclock it, or just buy a cheaper 8300 or 8320 CPU. You know, plus they're more expensive. The 8350 is a much more expensive CPU. So it's this one costed me $60. So imagine a $60 CPU. That's getting kind of close to a Ryzen 3600. No, not even that, right? Ryzen 5500. A used 5500, 5600. Sometimes you can get it for like $60, $70, right? Isn't that crazy? But that's how it is right now for the retro stuff. So it is what it is. So all right. So I guess that's it for this segment. What I'll do next is I'll put this video and I'll show you the benchmarks on the Montech Air 100 and the Corsair case. I'll put that next, back to back with this computer. So I'll be right back. Bye.